President Donald Trump announced the United States' decisions to become directly involved in the Israeli-Iran war following its launch of attacks against nuclear facilities in the Persian nation. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has denounced Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's intentions of dragging the war into a disaster. And in Venezuela, young people are proposing common approaches which will be voted on next July 27th in a nationwide popular consultation. Hello and welcome to From the South, from the headquarters of teleSUR English in Havana, Cuba. My name is Pablo Micheliche. We begin with the news, so stay with us. President Donald Trump announced the United States' decisions to become directly involved in the Israeli-Iran war following its launch of attacks against nuclear facilities in the Persian nation. In an official statement, Trump informed the U.S. Army has completed an attack on 3 nuclear facilities in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. With this military move, Washington, under President Donald Trump, has decided to use military force against a Middle Eastern country that was not preparing to attack the United States. According to Israeli officials, the Trump administration informed Israel in advance about the U.S. attack in Iran, but this is yet to be confirmed by Iranian authorities. Following this move, U.S. bases in West Asia are entering on high alert. Trump has assured on Saturday that Iran's main nuclear facilities were destroyed following a U.S. attack. These allegations contrast with the tranquility of the country despite the aggression. The Iranian Nuclear Authority announced that no human casualties have been recorded following the bombing of its nuclear bases. Specifically, the announcement detailed that there is no danger to the inhabitants of the areas near the bombed targets. The Foreign Affairs Minister of Iran, Sayed Abbas Araghchi, on his X account, condemned the unjustified aggression of the United States under Trump's administration over the Islamic Republic of Iran. Araghchi expressed that the United States, a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, has committed a grave violation of the UN Charter, international law, and the NPT by attacking Iran's peaceful nuclear installations. He also stated that the events this morning were outrageous and will have everlasting consequences, and alerted that each and every member of the UN must be alarmed over this extremely dangerous, lawless, and criminal behavior. All of this in accordance with the UN Charter and its provisions allowing a legitimate response in self-defense. Iran reserves all options to defend its sovereignty, interest, and people. And President Donald Trump delivered a speech Saturday night confirming the attacks and threatening with more strikes. Let's see.
With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill.
In this context, let's listen to what U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders had to say about tax, which he called unconstitutional.
This is a statement from Donald Trump, quote, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran," etc. agree. And I want to tell you something. Not only is this news that I've just heard, the second alarming that all of you have just heard, but it is so grossly unconstitutional. All of you know that the only entity that can take this country to war is the U.S. Congress. The President does not have the right.
And a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, declared in her X account that the President Donald Trump ignored the Constitution by unilaterally engaging the United States Armed Forces without the Congress authorization. Pelosi declared that she joined her colleagues in demanding answers from the administration on this operation of attacks against the Islamic Republic of Iran that endangers United States citizens' life and risk further escalation and dangerous destabilization of the region. Also, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, through his X account, condemned U.S. aggression on Iran. Guterres expressed that he was gravely alarmed by the use of force by the United States against Iran. He declared the aggression as a dangerous escalation in the region that is already on edge and a direct threat to international peace and security. The attack increases the existing risk that this conflict will rapidly spiral out of control, with catastrophic consequences for the civilian population, the region, and the world. Guterres further called upon UN member states to de-escalate the tension and fulfill their obligations under the UN Charter and other norms of international law. On the wake of the attacks by the United States to Iran's three main nuclear facilities, the government of Venezuela has issued an official statement condemning the aggression and demanding the immediate cessation of hostilities. The statement categorically condemns the strikes carried out at the request of the State of Israel against nuclear facilities in the Islamic Republic of Iran on the Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan complexes. It reads, this attack constitutes an illegal, unjustifiable, and extremely dangerous act of aggression that flagrantly violates the United Nations Charter, international law, and the most basic principles of respect for the sovereignty of the states. Moreover, it refers to the global environmental threat posed by any attack on a nuclear facility, hence to international peace. The statement wraps up by reaffirming Venezuela's solidarity with the Iranian people and Venezuela's commitment to peace, sovereignty, and the defense of international law as the only path to coexistence amongst nations. In the United States, massive demonstrations have been staged in New York in favor of Palestine and against Israel's military actions in the region. Thousands of people took to the streets of Manhattan in a massive protest against the military escalation in the Middle East in what has become one of the largest peace demonstrations in that city in recent years. The protests, organized by human rights coalitions and anti-war groups, called for an immediate cessation of hostilities and a diplomatic solution to the conflict. Demonstrators also demanded an end to the genocide in Gaza and condemned war crimes by Israel. On the other hand, New York police deployed a strong security operation to end the demonstrations. Also in Iraq, the People's Central Committee organized a march in solidarity with Iran and against the Israeli aggressions. The demonstrators raised Iranian flags to underscore the support of the Iraqi people to their brethren in the face of Zionist criminality. March participants urged people in free countries and also international institutions to force Israel to stop its aggressions. They also stressed the need to unite efforts and close ranks in the face of the conflicts that threaten stability in the region. European social organizations protest against the rearmament of Europe and in favor of world peace. The organizers of the protest say that the activity is part of the demonstrations called from June 21st to 29 against the North Atlantic Treaty Organization Summit Activists warned that the conflict between Israel and Iran threatens to extend warfare to a global level. Protesters carried banners with the slogan "No to rearmament." The co-president of Nicaragua, Rosario Murillo, urged to promote peace among the peoples worldwide in view of the complex international scenario between Iran and Israel. The leader stressed the need to ensure the welfare of the peoples amid a complex and agitated world, which challenges all the rules of coexistence among regions. In this sense, Murillo spurred to maintain humanity and foster common sense. Likewise, she called for defending peace, sovereignty, and human rights in the face of the threats and tragedies in the world. And now we have a short break coming up, but first remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. We will be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. On Saturday, Israeli forces continue to target civilians in Gaza. Health authorities registered 21 killed, some while waiting for humanitarian aid. After attacking Iran and Lebanon, occupation forces targeted hundreds of Palestinians who were hoping to obtain some food in what is being described as a U.S. and Israeli hunger traps. Zionist artillery shelled Rafah, Nuseirat, Zaytun, Khan Yunis, and Shujaya. Doctors at Al-Awda Hospital also confirmed dozens of injured from the same locations. According to the latest update, Israeli genocidal forces have killed and wounded more than 186,000 Palestinians to date, most of them women and children. We move on to other topics. In Sudan, the aggressions of the paramilitary rapid support forces made the people go through famine. In this context, social movement warned that the inhabitants of El Fasher city were suffering from the scourge. Activists further pointed out that the displaced people in the Samsam camp were formally declared this year in a situation of famine. Meanwhile, the cities surrounding had been taken over by the paramilitary forces, despite the efforts made by both the Sudanese army and the militias of the governor of the Darfur region to defend them. Amid this scenario, the Resistance Committee of El Fasher city called the government for immediate intervention to provide basic materials and a sustainable solution to the population. On Friday, Russian President Vladimir Putin reiterated his call for Ukraine to recognize the incorporation into Russia of the People's Republic of Donetsk and Luhansk, as well as the provinces of Zaporizhia and Kherson, following the referendums held in 2022. He also insisted on the recognition of Crimea, annexed in 2014. Putin thus emphasized the importance of respecting the will of the people as the basis of democracy. He also pointed out that failure to recognize these results could lead to the resumption of armed conflict. The Russian leader affirmed that Ukraine must commit to maintaining neutrality, refraining from military alliances, and guaranteeing the denuclearization, demilitarization, and denazification of its territory. Venezuela's Minister of Foreign Trade, Goromoto Godoy Calderon, highlighted the importance of strengthening trade between Russia and the South American country within the framework of the International Economic Forum held in St. Petersburg. Minister Calderon highlighted the solid strategic partnership between the two countries based on close political cooperation and the closeness between their leaders. She also highlighted the vision of multipolarity represented by Russia, a valuable alternative in war of conflicts. The diplomat emphasized bilateral cooperation in different development sectors. In this regard, she underlined the need to promote trade more strongly. In this regard also, she reported that there are opportunities to expand bilateral trade. The authorities are working with the Russian side to achieve this and boost the South American country's economy. And we have a second short break coming up. Before we invite you to visit our Facebook page at teleSUR English, there you will be able to watch our top stories, special live coverage, and much more. Follow our page and activate the notification button to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Financial break, don't go away. Welcome back. In Venezuela, young people are proposing communal projects which will be voted on next July 27th in a nationwide popular consultation. President Nicolás Maduro urged the country's youth to put forward projects to benefit both young people and their communities. On his part, People's Power Youth Minister Sergio Lotartario stressed the importance of this process in consolidating a participatory democracy. Over the next few weeks, Venezuelan youth will gather at some 40,000 communal councils to discuss proposals that will go to vote next July 27.
Hemos formado ya 4.000. Estas últimas 2 semanas nos vamos a encargar de poder llegar a esa meta. Y estos serán los formadores de formadores quienes llevarán ese conocimiento de qué es un consejo comunal, qué es una comuna, qué es un proyecto, cómo se rinde un proyecto, a todos los consejos comunales de nuestro país. Nosotros como juventud nos sentimos profundamente responsables de lo que...
In Croatia, a major forest fire broke on the Adriatic coast, affecting hundreds of residents. According to authorities, the epicenter was located in Pisac town, near Split, the capital. During the rescue efforts, a firefighter and several residents were injured due to the intensity of the flames. Meanwhile, the Air Force deployed several firefighting specialized aircraft. Also, roads south of the town were blocked to contain the spread of the fire.
Flešu biće svega, nema pitanja. S ovih neka pribaca avione doli, nek jedno auto sad onako.
And like this, we have come to the end of this news brief, but remember you can find this and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. And you can also join us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, my name is Pablo Michelice. Thank you for watching.